Hello and welcome. This is the 9 p.m. daily quiz where every single day we take up important questions for the prelims examination from the Hindu newspaper, the Indian Express, the PIB, the Down to Earth magazine, and much more. This is your one place so that you can revise your current affairs from the prelims examination point of view. Before we begin today's quiz, if you are new here, do hit the subscribe button and do hit the like button as well. Also informing a couple of important things. We are running a few programs on our app. First program is the Mastering Mains Answer Writing program. If you're one of those who is trying to master the UPSC Mains Answer Writing, I have a one-on-one guidance and mentorship program for all of you where I personally guide you. It's a 20-week long program, so you can start whenever you want. It will go on for 20 weeks. It will have personalized guidance, one-on-one interactions every single week, one-on-one targets, and that is how we will make sure that you master UPSC answer writing. If you have any questions about this, you can contact on these numbers. The PSIR optional course started from today onwards. We had our first class. You can still take admissions if you want in this. The classes are Monday to Friday, 12 to 3 p.m. where we'll cover the entire PSIR optional. Again, if you have any queries, feel free to contact or download my app called the Harshmeet Study Circle. With that out of the way, let's begin today's quiz. Question number 1 is on your screen. Ozempic, a prescription drug, recently in the news is being seen as a cure for COVID-19, cure for AIDS, a weight loss drug, or a cure for cervical cancer. Now, Ozempic is a very interesting drug. It has been in the news in the US for quite some time now. Now, most probably Indian government is also in its way to giving permission for this drug to be released in India as well. Why is this getting famous? Because it is being seen as a magical drug for weight loss. The answer is C. Now, the most interesting part about this drug is it was not made as a weight loss drug. So it was actually made as a medicine for diabetes, for type 2 diabetes. But when it was given to patients suffering from type 2 diabetes, a kind of a side effect was being seen in the patients. The side effect was weight loss. That is, the people who are getting this drug were seeing a loss in their weight. And then all of a sudden there were a lot of different studies that were done about how this works, is it safe or not, and then it has been considered to be safe. And now it is being sold as this magical weight loss drug. It is being sold in the US, now in India also. This drug may get the permission. The weight loss drug is, as I said, being named by different companies in a different way. Ozempic is named by one company. Then the weight loss drug is also named as tirzepatide, that is marketed by the US pharma company called Eli Lilly. They also marketed as Zepbound. So it is the same drug being marketed by different names, and it might enter India very soon. Second question. Consider the following statements with regards to Falcon 9. Number 1. It is a partially reusable rocket designed and manufactured by Elon Musk owned SpaceX. Second, it can transport only payloads and not crew to low Earth orbit, altitude of 2000 kilometers or less and beyond that. Third, the recent failure of the rocket marks the first Falcon 9 failure since 2015. So the Falcon 9 is a very famous rocket, said to be one of the most successful and reliable rockets in the entire world, but it recently had its very first failure. That was the first failure since 2015, so third statement is true. First is also true, it is made by SpaceX, that is a company owned by Elon Musk. Second is wrong. It is capable of sending crew and payload as well. So both of these, not just payload but crew and payload. Crew means members or humans. Along with them, the payload can also be sent. The answer thus is B. Any two are correct, first and third. The second statement here is wrong. There is an article in the Indian Express newspaper. By the way, most of the questions today are taken from either Indian Express or Down to Earth. This is an article in today's Indian Express newspaper about what caused a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket failure. Next, question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to National Skill Development Corporation. 1. It was set up by Ministry of Finance as Public-Private Partnership Model, that is PPP. Second, the Government of India through the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship holds 51% share capital of this organization, while private sector has a balance 49% of the share capital. Third, the organization provides funding to build scalable and profitable vocational training initiatives. Now, this is an organization that remains in the news because it supports a lot of other organizations that are giving training, skill development, etc. to people. So third is absolutely correct. First is also true. It is actually a PPP model. Government of India alone does not own the organization. It is a joint venture between the government and private sector. Second statement, government owns 40 or 51% is actually wrong. Rather, the government of India owns 49%. On the other hand, the private sector owns 51%. So second actually is wrong. The opposite is true. The government of India has only kept 49% ownership, while the private sector has been in 51% ownership. So the answer here is B. Any two are correct. First and the third one. The second one is wrong. The reason why it is in the news is because of this article in the Indian Express, where this corporation has suggested to the finance ministry that we need tax breaks for skill training and loan. Tax breaks means that the government of India should take lesser taxes. They should give some concession the taxes so that with the remaining money, the industry can focus on spending money on skill development, training new people. Next question number 4. Which of the following states is working to create the first ever water surface solar energy parks in southern India? First Tamil Nadu, second Kerala, third Karnataka, or fourth Telangana. Again, the question is which of these states is working to create South India's first ever water surface solar energy park. So water surface solar energy park basically means over water bodies you will have floating solar panels. So solar panels that will float over water bodies, ponds, rivers, etc. so that they can generate electricity. Which of these states is doing this? The answer is Karnataka. It is Karnataka that is working towards this to create South India's first ever water surface solar energy park. This question has been taken from the Down to Earth magazine. There is an article on the Down to Earth website, according to which Karnataka is planning to harness solar energy from 40 lakes with floating panels. This will be the first of this initiative in South India. Do remember that. Next question number 5, again from Down to Earth. Identify the nation with the following characteristics. Number 1. It is considering bids from 5 companies for construction of what would be its first nuclear power plant. Second, according to World Bank, the average electrification rate in West Africa is 42%, but this nation has 84% electrification rate. So it is better off than most of the other nations in West Africa. Third, it has its own source of natural gas. Slightly tricky question, considering that all the 4 options, all these countries are from West Africa, so you can't just eliminate. Think of the country in West Africa that is planning its first nuclear power plant. If you have read the news, think of the country that has its own source of natural gas. Ghana, Nigeria, Gabon, or Morocco. The answer here is A, Ghana. It is Ghana that is planning its first ever nuclear power plant. It is anyways better off than most of the other countries in West Africa in terms of electrification rate. It is planning to become a net exporter of electricity in the entire region. Do remember that. This is the article in the Down to Earth magazine how Ghana is planning its first ever nuclear power plant. As I told you earlier as well, the best way to attend these sessions is when you see the question, pause on the slide, think of the answer and then play, so that you can yourself try and see how many questions did you get correct, and in the comment section do let me know how many of these did you get correct. Now in the comment section I have one more homework for you. Tell me in the comment section, do we have any other floating solar energy plants in India? We just read that in South India the first one is being made by Karnataka. Do we have in other parts of India any other examples of floating solar parks? Do let me know in the comment section. Today again we'll end the day with an important quote that you can use in your IR. A very famous quote by our former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He said, "You can choose friends but not neighbors." He said this in context of India-Pakistan relationship, when people were asking him questions about why is it that you keep on talking to Pakistan, why is it that you stop talking to them. He said that you can choose your friend but you can't choose your neighbors. We will have to live with Pakistan, so rather than not talking to them, it is better to try and engage and form better relationship with them. In that context he said this. You can always use this in your IR answers. Thank you so much. That brings me to the end of the session. Do hit the subscribe and the like button as well. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Jai Hind.